So next we're going to do the cranial base spread. So this is a treatment for the suture between the occiput bone and the temporal bone. Here it's called the occipitomastoid suture, this part of the suture. So that's where our fingers are going to be. We're going to put our index finger on the mastoid. We're going to put our middle finger across the occipitomastoid suture on the occiput. And we're going to do that on both sides. So temporal bone, occipital bone. And the base spread has two parts. We're going to be spreading our fingers apart from each other to spread that suture, but also spread posteriorly this way down toward the table to spread deep inside this suture. So your index finger is going to be controlling the temporal bone, and it's going to go out more at a 45-degree angle. And your middle finger is going to control more of the occipital condyle, and it's going to go at a 30-degree angle. So your hands are going to stay on the bones, but if I was sliding on the bones, it would be spreading and going back this way. But your hands are not going to be sliding on bones. It just looks more like this. Okay, so I'll show that on a real person. Put this down. So I find my landmarks just posterior to the ear. You can find the mastoid. I'll put my index finger there, and then I can run my finger. You can go ahead and feel what the occipitomastoid suture feels like. It feels like a little divot. And I'm going to put my middle finger across that suture on the occiput. And I do that on both sides. Make sure I'm sitting up nice and tall. And I would bring my fingers apart and then posteriorly. So if I feel, now I'm going to diagnose. I feel a little bit more tension is not going posterior on my left index finger. So that would mean to me that his temporal bone is not moving. If I felt it in both fingers, it would mean the tension is across the occipitomastoid suture. If I felt it more on one of my middle fingers, that would mean that the condyle is what's restricted. And I could go treat those parts individually once you know what those things are, but for now, I'm going to just do a balance across. So I'm bringing my fingers apart, bringing them posteriorly, thinking about that 45-degree angle of my index finger, the 30-degree angle of my middle finger, and I can balance the tension across. So I feel more tension on the left side, so I actually add more tension on the right side, so I feel all the tension equal, and I balance. Wait for motion to be restored, and then I can recheck.